What's up, everybody? Christian Alva here from TheStorytellersMusic.com, and I just wanted to talk to you guys real quick about something that happened last week. Actually, last week I posted a link on our Facebook page, and it was about winning tickets to a screening to the Swedish Mafia's Take One documentary, right? And so I posted this link, and if it was chosen winners at random, blah blah blah, this and that. Unfortunately for me, one of our good friends, actually, one of our good Facebook friends at that, was one of the winners, and so she actually took me with her. So I was like, yeah. So, anyways, it was really cool. Like, the screening was in Beverly Hills. I forget exactly where it was at, but it was like this. It wasn't like a typical movie theater. It was like this, super slick, modern, really cool, really down, spot that was like totally hidden. You don't even know it's there type ordeal, and it was really cool. Like, we walked in, and like people were like, "Oh, hey, like, how's it going? Like, I'm blah blah blah." And we walked in like, who are all these people there? Like, I don't, it was like a private screening, so probably a lot of these people there were like, people in the music industry, or some important types of people, like in Hollywood, so to speak. But it's funny because we just walked up in there and we're like, "Oh, hey, hi, I'm blah blah this and that," and like, we just walked in and people started like, talking to us, and we're like, maybe they think we're like somebody, like, and I was like, me and Tiffany, this person that's with me, we were like, what's going on here? Like, it was funny. It was really funny, but eventually, it was funny because we're sitting there, and so there's this dude that, like, walked in, right? Like, leather jacket. Now, mind you, there's like several dudes there with like leather jackets, and they look, very music like. I mean, I'm not trying to say that there's a stereotype of what music people look like, but let's just say like Hollywood music-y, actor-y, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, this dude walked in with his leather jacket, right? He, like, dark hair, like kind of the wet look, blah blah this and that. And I won't forget, red tennis shoes. I didn't catch what kind, but had like, headphones in, and he was just like sitting there by himself on this bench, blah blah, doing this and that, and all these other people are mingling and blah blah this and that. And so, like, I lean over to like Tiffany, and I'm like on my phone, I'm like I'm on like Google Images, right? And I'm like, Swedish House Mafia, right? Because this dude's sitting over there, and I'm like, I think that's one of the dudes right there, right? I mean, because honestly, I don't know, I to be honest, I love, Swedish House Mafia's stuff, right? But to be honest, I'm not, the biggest groupie, that knows exactly what they look like. I just know, their names, you know what I mean? And Grosso, Axwell, and Angelo, you know what I mean? So it's not like I know them, what they look like, and not even that, but they all sort of, have the same sort of look, you know what I mean? They're all, from what I gather, they're all from the same, place, from the documentary said they kind of like all grew up together. So anyways, this dude's sitting over there, and I'm like, I think that's one of the guys, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all of my Google imaging Swedish House Mafia, their picture, right? And I'm like, all right, well, that one could be him, and that one could be him, blah blah blah. It ain't gonna, he's sitting by himself. You know what I mean? He's sitting by himself, and it ain't like people are going up there asking for an autograph or taking pictures. I think no one else knew that it was him either. And actually at this point in time, this is before the screening even happened, I didn't, everybody was just chilling. We didn't know that it was him, right? No one was going up to him, right? So let's fast forward a little. So we go into the screening, right? And we sit sort of towards like the back, right? It's a really small theater. There's maybe 100 seats, you know, in this whole, you know, small theater. It was really slick, really slim. It was cool. So we sit sort of in the back. Well, the dude with the red shoes, right? And some other dudes, they go sit in the back in the middle. So this documentary is really tight. It was 40 minutes. And so, like, you know, as parts go on through the documentary, through the screening, like, these dudes in the back, they're just, like, sitting there laughing. And they're laughing at parts where, like, Swedish House Mafia, you know, Axwell and these other, and some of the other guys, you know, are, like, cracking jokes in the documentary, like, like about, like, some of the interviews they were doing and stuff like that. I mean, this documentary is really, 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 like, it's, like, if it really puts in place, like, what it's like, you know, to be, you know, a really big, you know, DJ or producer. You know, I'm not saying that it's a reality show, you know, from any standpoint, because, you know, it's probably not. You know, it's obviously filmed and edited. But the thing is they show them, you know, doing stuff and complications that they have, and even the peaks, you know, when they're performing, like, you know, in front of, like, you know, tens of thousands of people. You know what I mean? Like, just awesome. It was a super awesome screening. And if the only thing, you know, the only thing you're gonna remember, if you actually get to see the screening, you're gonna remember pretty much the whole damn thing, like I do. But one of the most important parts from it that, you know, probably everybody gathered in the whole, you know, in the whole theater that was there was, and I forget who exactly said it, which one of them said it, but they said, you know, like, they're basically talking about, like, you know, DJing, like, when you go on stage, you know, and there's, you know, tons of people, you know, what is like going on in your head? What's, you know, what are you thinking? And basically, you know, the reply was, you know, you got to just turn off your brain and you got to turn on your heart. You know what I mean? And that, to me, was like, bam, that's it right there. Because if you're a real musician, I don't care if you're a DJ or not, you know, producer, whatever the hell, you know, that is what it is. You turn off the brain and turn on the heart. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. So, after the screening, right? After the screening was over, I was like, you know, that's them, you know, it's two of them, or that's them in the back, or one of them, or whatever's. And so, like, then, of course, you know, after, you know, the screening's over, then everybody kind of clued in that, you know, they're in the house, you know, and it turned out that, because in the screening they talk about Ingrosso, he actually transplanted to LA, so he actually lives here in LA now, right? And so this screening happened to be, let's see, like 3 or 4 days after Monster Massive. And who played at Monster Massive? Axwell, right? So what we concluded was that the people that were there were Axwell and Ingrosso, right? So it was really tight that they were actually there for the screening. Unfortunately, I believe, I mean, you know, I'm not the professional at, you know, knowing, you know, them by looks and whatnot, but I believe, you know, Angelo wasn't there, but the other two were. So it was really cool, you know. And, you know, we probably could have been like, you know, afterwards, because the screening was only 40 minutes. Afterwards, we probably could have been like, yo, where's the party at? And we probably could have went, you know, hung out with, like, the two of them, you know, plus their, you know, their posse and whatnot. I don't think they had a really big posse, but, you know, it was really cool. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully, I heard that the screening is going to get released, I would say, in the next 6 to 12 months. So be on the lookout for it, because it's really, really, really cool. I definitely recommend picking it up. And yeah, that's about it. So stay tuned, guys. If you're not a fan of us on Facebook, facebook.com/TheStorytellersMusic. And this is Christian Alva signing out. Ciao.